guys, it's Andrea and I am back again with another video. As you guys can tell by today's video, I am going to be comparing basically like the pros and cons of day shift versus night shift, and just kind of differentiating the differences between the two, discussing the differences between the two rather. But before I jump into the video, what I want you guys to do is pause this video, comment down below, do you prefer day shift or night shift? Why or why not? You never know, you could help someone else in deciding whether they want to do day shift or night shift, so go ahead and comment down below. All right, so I actually wrote down the 5 topics that I want to cover because I want to make sure I cover every single one of them. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of what this video is going to be about, the first thing is going to be sleep schedule, then time management, and then basically the next topic kind of covers like the management, the doctors, the NPs, and then of course your family and work-life balance, and then the last one, not the most important one, but the last one is pay. Okay, so first topic, sleep schedule. So I can definitely say for the most part, probably day shift wins in this category, just because obviously, you know, our whole lives, our circadian rhythm has been used to sleeping during the nighttime and being awake and being active and, you know, all that life stuff during the day. So when you obviously switch to night shift, and I can speak on this firsthand, when you switch to night shift, it's a total shocker to your body. Like, your body has no idea what's going on, and it definitely takes some time to adjust. So for obvious reasons, you know, I can say that when you are on day shift, you have the benefit of having a regular sleep schedule. You know, nothing's really different. If you're a morning person, like you have no issue getting up super early, day shift would probably be perfect for you. But if you have a hard time getting up in the morning, like if you know there have been times like in nursing school when you were like late to class, like multiple times, night shift may be in your favor, because I can say, I wouldn't say I'm a morning person, but sometimes I do have a hard time with being on time in general, just waking up and being on time. So night shift definitely comes in my favor in that I don't feel like I have to sleep up into the very moment that my alarm goes off. Sometimes I'm actually getting up earlier. So it's not an issue for me. But where it can be an issue, like I said earlier, is the whole adjustment of switching your body to something that it's not used to. But like I said in my last video, once you find a schedule that works best for you, it's not that big of a deal. I have heard that like night shift, and anybody can kind of back me up on this, night shift over time weighs on your body, which I mean, it makes sense, but over time it weighs on your body. So I can say that I don't really know if I'd be on, I mean, I don't want to speak too early, but I don't really know if I would be on night shift for forever. But I'm sure in some way, shape, or form, it affects our bodies in a not so good way. So yeah, they both have their benefits. I don't really know if you would say like there's a con for day shift. Again, maybe if you have a hard time with waking up early, it could be bad for you. But you know, all in all, they both have benefits, and you just have to choose what's best for you. That's with anything, any of these categories. Whatever works for you, it's a case-by-case basis. Just choose whatever works best for you. The next one, time management, which I think is super, super, super important for new grad nurses. When I was first on my orientation, or even not even when I was on orientation, when I got off orientation, I didn't understand. Well, y'all know I really didn't want to be on night shift to begin with. But to be honest, and some of you guys may not be happy with what I'm about to say, but to be honest, I think night shift is the perfect learning experience for new nurses. Just because obviously like day shift is more busy. There's a lot more things that you have to deal with on day shift. And not to say that let's not night shift, not to say that you're not going to be busy on night shift, but you can really find your pace. There are less factors that you have to deal with on night shift than if you were on day shift. But I personally think night shift is the perfect opportunity for new grad nurses to work on their time management, find their ways. You know, every nurse has their way of doing things. Find your way of doing things, and just, you know, really start being comfortable with being a nurse. I honestly feel like you would probably feel less overwhelmed on night shift than you would on day shift. But again, all of this is my personal opinion, but I truly believe, based off of my experience, based off of experiences of my friends who are nurses, based off of just everything that I've ever heard about new grad nurses and day shift and night shift and time management, I truly believe that night shift is a place where you can really, set your own foundation and really work on your time management and just really get things done. Okay, so next topic is going to be the management, the doctors, and the NPs. Now, honestly, guys, let me just be upfront. This may be like a hospital by hospital, unit by unit case basis. But just speaking from, let me just say, my hospital's perspective. And again, for those of you who are new to my channel, I work on a NICU floor. This is probably different for med-surg nurses, I'm not sure. But when you're on night shift, or when I'm working night shift, I'm a night shift nurse, we don't have our neonatologists, which are our baby doctors. We do not have them in-house at nighttime. We actually have nurse practitioners, which is a huge benefit for us. But when something like major happens, as in like, say we get a baby that needs to be transferred out to a larger hospital, then we have to call in our neonatologist, no matter the time of the night, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We have to call in that doctor to come in, just to kind of get an idea of everything that's going on. Obviously, there's other things that they have to do, speak to the other neos at the other hospital. Basically, they just have to be there for the process of transferring out our babies, but they are not there during the nighttime. So if there's ever a time where we have to code a baby, who are we calling? We're calling the NP. Now, this can be maybe for a newer nurse. Like for me, when I was on orientation, you guys know I did some of my orientation on day shift and some on night shift. Because I did so many weeks on orientation for day shift, I was so used to like having the doctor readily accessible. So when I switched to night shift, it was kind of different. But then again, having those nurse practitioners there are like super helpful. But if you are like totally reliant on having a doctor there, night shift, it may be a little different for you. But again, with all things, it's just an adjustment. Whether you have a NP available, if you have a resident available, there are just different things that, like I said earlier, each hospital does differently. But just know that's something that you're probably gonna have to deal with on night shift, not necessarily having a doctor available. You also have to get used to, which is something that some people still struggle with, AKA me. You do have to get used to calling people, not calling people, but calling the doctors, calling the nurse practitioners, calling whomever in the middle of very odd hours of the night. I'm gonna be honest, there are some people who don't want to be called at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So that is when you learn as a nurse, like your nursing judgment. Okay, let me have everything that, I want to speak to this doctor about, speak to this nurse practitioner about. Let me have it all. Like if you need to write it down, if you need to do whatever to make sure that when you call them at 3 o'clock in the morning, like, hey, XYZ is happening, yada, make sure you have that all available, because I promise you, when you wake them up, you want to have it all together. So that's just a little tip for you guys. So in that category, day shift definitely has the one up on consistently having doctors available. Now the next topic, family and work-life balance, or just like life and work balance just in general. And this can honestly be different. So for me, obviously I'm not married yet. I don't have kids yet. So comparing my perception of it versus someone who is married, who has kids, who has like this whole family that they need to take care of, it's definitely gonna be different, obviously. I can say a lot of people who I know who have like a whole family, they're on day shift. But again, like I'm gonna stress this, it's really case by case. Like you can have a whole family and night shifts still work for you. It's just how you work it. But like I said, a lot of people that I know that do have families who are married are on day shift. I actually have a coworker who she started off on night shift. And then it just like her schedule and her husband's schedule was just not working. She felt like she never saw him. So she actually moved to day shift. So it's just really, again, case by case, however, you know, it works best for you. A lot of the nurses who are on night shifts are new grad nurses, newer nurses. And then you often find nurses who are very, very seasoned, who have been in the game for quite some time, who, you know, their family, like their kids may have moved out, they're in college, they have their own families. So they really don't have a per se family in-house, like with them. So night shift works for them. So there are a lot of things that definitely play in factor. You just have to see, you know, what works best for you in your life outside of being a nurse, and just make it work with your schedule. And then the last thing, the last thing, guys, is pay. Da, 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 da. Okay, so obviously, there is something, well, let me not say obviously, because if you guys are new nurses or still in nursing school, you may not know this, but you actually get something called a shift differential when you work night shift. Now this range of pay can be different based on units, based on hospitals. There are a lot of factors that come into play. But the main thing that I want to stress here is that you do get paid more money to work night shift than day shift. Sometimes it's $3 added on to your base pay. Sometimes it's $4. Sometimes, like if you work a weekend on nights, it's an extra, sometimes it could be extra $5. So just keep that in mind. If you are in the business of saving money, if you just graduated nursing school, if you know you're trying to save up for something, save up for an apartment, save up for a house, save up for a wedding, what have you, night shift may be in your favor because you are going to get more money to work that shift versus if you were working during the day. I personally know people who started off on night shift, they went to day shift and they saw quite a difference in their check, and especially over time, the money that you could save because of that shift differential, it's not there because you work day shift. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. And let me just put this little disclaimer out there, you know, just because obviously we're not in nursing for the money, but that is one of the benefits of being a nurse. And if you have plans to, you know, in the future to do X, Y, and Z with your money, you want to get the most out of it. So that's something you definitely, like I said, want to keep in mind. So guys, I'm pretty sure there are multiple other things that I could have covered in this video, such as other factors that can affect your decision in choosing day shift or night shift. This is pretty much just the gist of it, and a lot of things that, like these are the reason why I'm kind of still on night shift, because it's just working out for me. And like I said before, whether you're on day shift or night shift, if you start off on day shift and you really want to do night shift, put yourself on the list. If you want to be on night shift, or if you're on night shift and want to be on day shift, put yourself on the list. It's not an end all be all. Like you can work with it. Put yourself on the list. That's all I can say if you are somewhere where you don't want to currently be. But in whatever shift you are working, give it some time, find your pace, just adjust, and if it's not working out, chunk deuce and head to the 7P or head to the 7A. Guys, that is pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you found it at least a little bit helpful if you are trying to determine whether you want to do day shift or night shifts. Like I said, comment down below, what do you prefer and why or why not? And yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you are not already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.